Everyone, welcome back. I have started these YouTube videos initially for my family and friends when I came back from my first week-long retreat with Dr. Joe-Dispenza, and it was a way for me to not have to answer 30-40 different calls and explain everything that I had done, what I had felt, the experience. It was almost a way to be more strategic of sharing. And then turns out it's been benefiting and helping a lot of people who study Dr. Joe Dispenza's work but have never attended one of these week-longs, and they reach out and ask questions, which I really encourage and love, because I love doing the work and I love talking about it and working with like-minded people. So that's my little disclaimer. Every time I start these videos, I like to remind everyone I'm not teaching Dr. Joe's work because I don't have the qualifications or enough knowledge to be doing that. I am simply sharing my personal experience. So my journey through my meditations, and if you haven't watched the previous videos, I would recommend you do that because it would make more sense. I went to my first retreat trying to heal with the intention to heal. And then I came back and I did a lot of work on myself. I meditated almost daily. And I've had, after 6 months, there's a video also on that, I had almost like this transformation where I didn't care about healing anymore. I just wanted to connect with the divine, with God. So now this is the second retreat, the week-long I've attended. And the experience is quite different. It's quite different because I've already had the first one, everything's so new and it's like, woo! It's like crazy, like shocking almost. And this time I knew what we were going to do, what to expect, and I had the ability to go in deeper because I've already done it once and I've been doing a lot of work in the 6 months in between the two courses. I've been back for 12 days now, and my intention is to do the pineal gland meditation daily. So far so good, 12 days in a row. Quite excited about that, and to see how that goes. So I might even do a video on what happens to your pineal gland after a whole month or 2 months. Who knows how long I can go for. But this is about the Niagara Falls week-long, or my shirt just for these videos. Going to try and record these as I go. As you know from the past videos, I don't really do a lot of cutting and editing of these videos, so it comes out very raw. I hope not to offend anybody. I also don't want to scare anybody because what I might share might feel a little bit crazy. I know I will sound crazy and I don't care at this stage. I'm just having a great time with my meditations. So take it as whatever you want to take it as, like facts, or take it as a nice story. And I'll go ahead and share my experience. So here we are, day 1 of the retreat. We actually didn't do any meditations. On the other retreat, we had our first, it always starts around 5 o'clock. And on the first retreat, we had a meditation in the evening, which I was really excited about. And Dr. Joe explained, and I love him. He's very entertaining, sharing all this new knowledge and facts. So we didn't really go into meditations. And I left the first day and I was like, oh no, I really wanted to meditate with everyone. But it's okay because I had a whole week and the week was amazing. So day 1 is basically skipped because I didn't meditate, and I don't share what I don't meditate, what he teaches. I just share my meditations. You might recognize my little sprinkly, shiny, glittery book from the first retreat, and I couldn't write my journal entries in here because it's also the notebook that I use to put all like the notes, the things he teaches. So I have a lot of notes of the pineal gland, neocortex, and all the different things that he explains about the melatonin, serotonin, and all that jazz. So for this one, we have a not as glamorous notebook. So I'll keep it down here. You don't have to see it. Anyway, all the extras out of the way. Let's go straight into it. What did we do on the first day? Actually, the second day in the Niagara Falls was blessing of the energy centers at 7 a.m. So he starts us easy with 7 a.m. And he always asks us at the end of these meditations, what did you do well and what do you want to improve and do better? So I think what I did great in this meditation was I stayed and I didn't give up, even when my body or my mind was starting to wander. I consciously reprogrammed the current future while I was in the field, which is something that I've never realized I could do. And I asked the divine experience to feel more and be present, because I've made this wonderful friend and she was explaining to me how you just need to keep asking the divine and the divine will listen. So he also asked what we want to improve, and my big thing is to surrender, and I realize I still don't fully surrender, so I really want to surrender. Shutting down the distractions, and for me it's not as much the distractions of the people around me, the noises. I can zone those out. I even do that when I practice yoga. It's like it's me and my yoga, but for some reason it's the thoughts in the mind that are the distractions for me. And also have more fun. It's something that my roommate, I didn't meet Tamara before sharing rooms with her. And the first night we shared rooms, we obviously were meeting each other and catching up, and she shared with me her experience. This was her second or third Dr. Joe. And she kept reminding me to be playful, and I never thought of being playful in my meditations, like really letting go and playing with the energy, allowing it to surround me and have fun with it. So those are the things I do want to improve. And here we go. I'll do my best reading my very messy handwriting because I was so tired on this retreat. Our first meditation was challenging but great. The environment and body kept pulling me back into the 3D reality multiple times, but I did not give up. I stayed and I overcame the body. We started by tuning into the heart and expanding it. Then we went through each energy center from 1 to 8. The breath brought an arousal, so when we got to number 1, feeling into number 1 was so good. I could feel the energy growing, connecting with everyone and everywhere around me. Energy center number 2 was a little tougher. I wasn't feeling comfortable. My body was in pain, and it took me loads of strength not to get up and leave the room. Then we went into 3, and that's when I really felt like I finally surrendered and gave in. I started feeling more and more. And that by the time I got to 4, which 4 is my favorite, 4 is the heart. And I know I've explained in the previous one, but I should repeat them here. Dr. Joe doesn't call them by chakras. It's the same energy centers as the chakras, but he calls them by number so that you're not influenced by any pre-learning or any thoughts or concepts you associate with chakras. So 1 is your root chakra, 2 is your sacral, 3 is your solar plexus, and 4 is the heart. 5 the throat, 6 the pineal gland, 7 the crown, and 8 the above. In 4, everything started to shake and spin, and I love the heart, the expansion that I can feel when I get to the center. I didn't want it to stop. It kept getting bigger and bigger and more intense. I really didn't want to move to number 5 when he called out to move to 5, as I was still in love with 4. But then 6 arrived, and holy moly, the craziness got back. I was making love to my pineal gland. The whole experience overall was amazing. I really, really loved going into 4. And what I realized there and then was that the energy is so much stronger when I'm surrounded by so many people, which feels very different from when I meditate at home. I can't wait for the next one. So that was our first meditation. I too love tuning into the heart. The second meditation of the day was at 1 p.m. before lunch, and we did no space, no time. This meditation was intense. 90 minutes of craziness in the vortex, the blackness. It started very mellow, tuning into the heart. And I kept asking my intention to have fun, play, and surrender to the divine. Each time I asked, I felt even more of what I asked, feeling the heart open and grow. Dr. Joe then brought us into no space and time, in the darkness, the vortex. Tuning in was immediately feeling my body melt and dissolve into infinity of space. Just gives this beautiful light feeling to the body. While I was there, I asked the divine to become one with Source, and it was immediate. Body shaking while a blissful arousal kept arising. An explosion in my head. The light kept growing and expanding from there. Now, here are the things I have to be careful if I want to share or not. Emil was there, and it took my left hand. He was there next to me. I could feel him. Then angels or light warriors started pulling my right arm and hand, and it made me giggle. I allowed myself to have fun and play. Boy, did I play in the blackness. Whenever I started losing the contact with the Source, I would ask the divine to keep me in the Source with it, with the divine. My head was exploding with bliss. Anytime Dr. Joe would invite us to move our attention, I'd see the light beings pull and play with me. It was so much fun and yet so intense. Emil took my hand again, another few times, and I could feel his hand in mine. When we were invited to lie down, it took a while as my whole body still was shaking. I ended up upside down with my right arm bent by my side, palm open, facing up. The right hand kept shaking, so I had this right hand here instead of lying down next to me. And I was invited to join the light beings, dancing and playing above us. I could see everyone lying down from above and started sending so much love and blessing to everyone below. It was like a sky full of stars, each one of us a light twinkling loads of love. I dance, I play, and I was in love. It was magical. So yeah, that's what happens on your second retreat. On the first one, when you're still trying to figure out all this stuff, you feel something. On the second one, when you've already experienced that stuff and you come back, it's all this extra magic that you tune into. And I know everybody will think it's crazy, but I don't care. I loved it, and I still love it, and I keep loving it every time I feel the contact with these beings. They're so beautiful. So what would you do better next time is, again, surrender and set a clear intention. I never set clear intentions. I just go in. And what did you do great? And we'll repeat. This time I felt like I did a great job at playing, which was one of my intentions, to be more playful and to surrender. Like, I know I still need to surrender more, but I still feel like I surrendered more than I have in the past, if that makes sense. So our third and final meditation of the second day was no space and time for 2 hours, from 6 to 8 p.m. I set an intention before starting this meditation to heal my body and be whole. It was a bit more challenging to tune into the heart to begin, but asking the divine always helps opening up the heart, as it always makes it feel good. Breath work was intense and hitting the G spot, as Dr. Joe calls it, the God spot, the pineal gland. It feels so intense and awesome. Big explosions in the brain, witnessing kaleidoscope of shapes in the forehead. In the darkness, it's also calm and still at the same time, but it's also intense. Feeling the body dissolve in infinite particles floating everywhere, and looking for the depth of the darkness. I was going in and out, distractions, of the Source, having orgasms in my brain, when all of a sudden I felt a hand put something in the palm of my left hand, more like a squeeze of the hand. And that's when I started crying tears of joy and surrender to having felt that contact, feeling so good about the contact when a warm breeze in the shape of a body, a warm body heat wrapped me from the left side and hugged me. Oh, I remember this. Like, I just felt like there was the warmth of a body right here, and I felt hugged. It was beautiful. The divine beings were back, ready to play. I followed with laughter and joy that pervaded my body. But then they were gone, and I couldn't find them anymore. Started getting strong cramps in my lower abdominals that brought me out of the flow and into the 3D reality. I was ready to get up and leave, but I stayed, and that was a great meditation, as I am taming and training the body. We then laid down, and my mind started to wander as the distractions had broken my flow. I was okay with it. Not all meditations will be magical. I was just hanging out, waiting for the meditation to end, when I felt footsteps behind me and my body felt an electric charge. Pure blissful healing energy ran through me. I thought it might have been Dr. Joe as I was in the front row, but who knows, as my blindfolds are on and I was enjoying the bliss. I remember that. All of a sudden I was like relaxing. It's just like, oh, can't wait for this to be over because I lost my flow. I'm quite distracted. All of a sudden it was like, shoo! And I could feel footsteps. So I suspect it was Dr. Joe's beautiful energy right behind me. And I don't think I've mentioned in this before. Lots of us wear blindfolds. This is mine that I bought on my first retreat. And you just wear them to lock out the light. I don't know why other people do it. I found that it keeps me more focused, tuned in. And I feel that when the lights switch on, I know it's the light from inside and it's no other outside lights that's making me see light, if that makes sense. So if you have the blindfold, you don't see the light from outside. So when this light turns on, it's like, you know, it's your light. It's not the outside. So here we are at the end of day 2, and I wrote out my intentions for day 3. Go all in, touch and stay in the divine. So not just touch it, but even stay with it. Be moved by passion. Be whole, healed, and abundant economically. Remember to create when I'm in the source. Surrender and have fun. Make sure you play. So that was all for day 2. If you have any questions, as usual, do remember to leave it in the comments. If it's more personal, you can always email me. And remember to comment, share, and like. Let me know what you think, what you'd like to know more about, and I'd be more than happy to share. See you on the next video for day 3. Ciao!